One Piece chapter 959, Samurai. So this is another chapter where we're going to have to kind of figure things out, go off with the contextual clues, because we still don't know what's happened yet. You know, with the Straw Hats, and is this all a red herring, or is Orochi actually getting the upper hand on them? But yeah, let's get into it. So it's opening up 2 days before the final battle, and we're seeing everyone still getting ready, but specifically, we're seeing Frankie here. And what he says in this first page, I think might be all that we really need to know about what's going on. So he says, all right, let's make sure we have enough ships ready for 5,000 people. We just need to make sure our ships are in position at the promised time, all right? That's very interesting, right? Because a couple chapters back, he was very adamant about requesting enough ships for 100,000 people. Now, it turns out that that wasn't hyperbole, or at least it seems like it's not going to be. Because I think that's why he made all of those extra ships. Because maybe they knew ahead of time that they were going to need them for decoys. Because I think that's what's going on here. I think all of the ships that we saw get destroyed were just decoy ships. They weren't the ships that they actually needed. It's possible that Law figured out things, or whoever figured out what Orochi knew, or just figured out that there was in fact a traitor. They figured this out before we thought that they did. Something like that, because that's, I'm thinking, why they needed so many ships, because they knew something like this was going to happen. So that's why there's so many. It makes sense, right? I mean, of course, it's not confirmed to be true yet, but that also might be the reason why the Sunny has been bombed too. Maybe the Sunny is a duplicate as well, because that's strange. It's shocking, but it's strange that the Sunny is kind of just being nonchalantly destroyed like that, considering like the emotional epic send-off that the original Sunny had. And then Kuma playing bodyguard for 2 years so that no one would get to the Sunny. So that's just kind of all thrown out of the window here if the Sunny is in fact destroyed right here, but it just doesn't seem like it is, right? Or maybe Oda is subverting our expectations here and he's just like, hey, big shocker, it's gone. And then maybe we're just going to get a new Sunny at the end of Wano. There's like the Mark III Sunny, and then that's what's going to be piloted for the rest of the series possibly. But I just don't think it's out right now. Now, at the minimum, I think it's definitely damaged for sure. Maybe that's a possibility, but I think that Frankie might have made like a crude decoy copy of the Sunny because, like I said, they knew that this was going to happen. And also, we see them specifically talk about it in the next page, or Usopp. He's like, okay, we're heading to Amagasa Village to meet up with the rest of our crew. We'll be aboard the Sunny for the final battle. So that might be them kind of telling us that that's gonna happen. So then we see Hitetsu give Chopper, Brook, and Luffy some new sweet samurai armor, which is just aesthetically awesome. And it is just gonna be really cool for them to have some like cool gear to go into this final battle with. I mean, we're gonna see them wearing it for like many chapters, so that's gonna be nice. And I'm sure Luffy is going to like lose most of this armor once he gets into the nitty-gritty of things, but at least he'll have some sweet pants on during it. But also, this is ultra significant. And it's like showing why Oda, more so if we haven't already been convinced at this point, why Oda is the greatest of all time. And why he's like a expert master, grandmaster 4D chess player. Because if we go back to chapter 310, okay, 15 friggin' years ago, one of the color pages for that chapter featured this exact same Luffy. Luffy in this exact same samurai armor. Okay, not only the armor, but the pants too. And the pants, back 15 years ago, had the Kozuki family crest on them. Wow, this is really, really blowing my mind once I saw this connection being made. And also, if you go even one step further, we see behind Luffy in the color page, there's a pink dragon. And of course, that's Momonosuke. So, wow. I mean, you could discredit Oda and say that he just backtracked and used this because he just wanted to use an old design, but you're kind of selling him short there. He's proven time and time again that this is what he does. And it just, I can't wait to see like more unravelings from Oda here, because we already got like, just recently, we got it with the Rocks crew. and how Captain John and Quang Shi and Silver Axe, we actually saw them back at Thriller Bark. And then we get the awesome little squabble between Sanji and Zoro, and I know everybody loved this. I mean, how could you not? And I don't think we've had it for a little bit, actually. And then Sanji's like finally rubbing in Zoro's face that his bounty is lower than his. And I like that Zoro's kind of ticked off by that because, you know, they are like a sign of respect in this world. It's a badge of honor, especially among pirates. But I don't think that's going to last too much longer. I mean, at least in story time. Because once they get their new bounties after this arc, not saying that I know what's going to happen, obviously, but when that does happen inevitably, I think Zoro's going to go to 1 billion. I mean, come on, right? He's got to be at least there, more or less. And then, of course, Luffy will go up to accommodate. But I think that's going to happen for sure. And then it's confirmed, more or less, that we are going to see the Sulong form of all of the minks. Something that we talked about in the previous chapter when they were talking about, oh, the skies are going to be clear and we're going to see the full moon just fine. So it's like, yeah, we are going to see some Sulong forms. But then they're kind of like saying that, like, oh, you know, it depends on luck. We may see it, we may not. Nah, we're definitely going to see it. But yeah, still putting it out there, and I'm glad. So another thing that they're putting out there, which is super interesting, and I'm glad that they're finally talking about it, is Luffy talking about Jinbei. It's like, Big Mom's here, but, you know, Jinbei hasn't come back. He was the reason we were able to escape. So, is this Chekhov's Jinbei here? I think so. I mean, if Jinbei did die, and, like, he doesn't come back, that would be beyond anticlimactic. I mean, I would be speechless if that were to happen. So, it's just nice confirmation that, like, hey, you know, hey guys, just remember that Jinbei is still a thing because he is coming back. I know not all of you guys are hardcores, but just in case you forgot about Jinbei, he's coming back. So why is it taking so long for Jinbei to get there? Well, you know, time isn't moving as slow for them, of course, but it's possible that Jinbei might be getting some reinforcements or something like that, possibly. Maybe Jinbei just doesn't come alone. I mean, obviously he's going to come with the fishermen and all that stuff, but maybe he brings somebody else. I don't want to speculate too much as to who it could be, because it could be anyone, but some people think maybe the Grand Fleet, maybe. That would be cool, but I just think it's a little too soon for the Grand Fleet to, like, reunite and have this one big crazy war with them involved in it. I think that's more so post-Wano stuff, but that's just my opinion. Then they also mentioned the Witching Hour boy after this, and I think this might be telling us that, like, it's probably Kyushiro, who is Denjiro, possibly. I don't want to focus too much on that, but I think he's the likely candidate for who that character is. And then it's also revealed that aside from the Sunny getting bombed by these eagle, bird, smile dudes, also the main bridges have been bombed too. And this seems really bad, but either they wanted this to happen, and not wanted to, but either they don't care, I'm talking about the Alliance, either they don't care that this happened, and it's not going to affect them, or this is just another thing that Frankie is just going to fix, or has already fixed, or did something else, because we know Frankie is an established bridge master. Back in Thriller Bark, he made a bridge in like less than a minute, right? And it was like a super impressive bridge. So give him like 5 minutes, I'm sure he could make better bridges than what were already even existing there in the first place. So then we see Orochi talking to himself, and he reveals that he has yet to see the time-leaping samurais, which might mean that the 4 scabbards that came to the future might not be the traitors, meaning that Kanjuro, who was one of the main suspects, might not be the traitor. Now, I'm not saying that he's not, and I'm not crossing him off, because there is a lot of damning evidence towards him, kind of, other than, like, just a lot of speculation and him not really being focused on that much. But I think this might mean that it's either one of the minks, more likely, or Shinobu, but it's also somebody that knew the location of the Sunny, which was the minks, I guess. And also, if you go back to Zoe, you know, how they knew Reivew was there, and how they let Jack come there and all that stuff. So, man, it's confusing now, and also this just makes it all the more confusing. So then it cuts to the president, and we're seeing Kinemon and them, and they're essentially just deciding to go ahead and do the plan anyway, which is obviously not going to work, but I guess this is setting up that the intervention that is inevitably going to happen will happen sooner than later with them, because something's going to have to stop them, because if they go, they're just going to die instantly. But then they say something very interesting. They're like, listen up, everyone. There's a reason why this country has been isolated for hundreds of years. and that reason is deeply connected to the Kozuki clan. In time, its purpose will be fulfilled. So, what does that mean? Well, we know that the Kozuki clan were the ones who inscribed on the poneglyphs. So it obviously has something to do with that. They know stuff about the Void Century. They know a whole bunch of stuff, and it's possible that Wano might be like the place where something significant is. That also might tie into why Kaido is at Wano. You know, why of all places is he at Wano? Why does he want to stay there? Well, it's possible because something crazy important from the Void Era is there. Maybe one of the ancient weapons is there. Or maybe just an ancient weapon is there. Maybe it's not one of, like, the big ones that we haven't seen yet. So then the chapter ends with us seeing Odin in a flashback from 39 years ago. I think this is, like, the clearest we've seen Odin, right? And it appears that he has, like, that big knot tied on his back, which looks very similar to Sentomaru. So does that mean Sentomaru came from Wano? I don't know, maybe. He did know the hockey push, and we do know that the hockey push is very popular in Wano, so maybe Sentomaru did come from Wano. That's interesting, right? But we're seeing that, like, he was a very polarizing, charismatic dude, and, like, some people hated him, some people loved him, but I also like the little line, it's like, hide your daughters, hide your wife, and, you know, that goes back to the meme from, like, 10 years ago with the hide your kids, hide your wife thing, which I'm sure everybody drew parallels to there. But this might be setting up the beginning of a flashback here. Maybe the next chapter opens up with us seeing, like, more about Odin, and maybe we actually finally see what he actually looks like, why Oda has been hiding this for the whole time. It's possible that there's not, like, a huge reveal here, and that Odin isn't, like, somebody that we know or anything. Maybe he was just keeping him silhouetted just, you know, just because. It was just another thing to reveal, I guess. But that's pretty much it for the chapter. Let me know what you think about all of this. If you like the review, guys, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon that gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.